I know we've got a lot of aspiring filmmakers in our audience, and so I wanted to ask you some questions regarding filmmaking that you've kind of addressed, and that I think they'd be interested in. And one is your penchant for shooting chronologically. And of course, I think every filmmaker would love to shoot chronologically. If they only had time, they only had budget, because continuity, just makes it so much easier. But that's not really your reason. And Ryan said this. Ryan said, "You're not really sure of the film you're making, and neither is he. He's sort of finding it as he goes along. You just go on for the ride." So I would really love you to talk about that process of shooting chronologically and finding it as you go along.
Well, it's how I made my first film. When I made my first film, my mother gave me a book about John Cassavetes, and I'm not a very good film theory person, so I never read it. But I read the beginning, and it talked about John Cassavetes shooting his film in chronologically order, and I was like, well, I'll do that. If he did it, I'll do it. And it became a mantra in the sense that I loved the sense of the constant uncertainty and discovery along the way. Now, of course, you need to have a script with a start, middle, and an end that the financiers have signed off on and the bond company supervises on and so forth. But what's exciting is that how do you get to the specific beats along the way is essentially the act of creativity with the combination of your companions along the way. So I can see the film unfold in front of me. And I make very cheap films. I mean, Bronson was made for $1 million. This film cost under $4 million, or roughly around there. So Drive cost around 13, but it only had still 7 weeks of shoot because it was a very expensive film because of the cars. So you have to think, shoot chronologically from the beginning. So you do sacrifices along in the budget. Like on Only God Forgives, there was simply no production design budget because I took all the money to buy me days and buy my time moving around, also go by shooting at night. So it's a way of evolving along the way. And I have this thing with actors or anybody that I collaborate with is that I believe the submission to the material is that you ask everyone constantly every morning, what would you like to do? Because it submits their constant focus and energy into whatever is moving along is as truthful or whatever it is from their perspective of a character's journey. And you can guide it along, and you have all these emotions going around, and you're trying to get to these specific places. So, like the dinner scene was a very important beat that we had to get to, and how, getting to that, but also what was going to be said to get to the next scene kept on changing and changing as we got closer to making that scene because I kept on seeing what would happen, So I enjoy that process a lot, and it's not about money because you can do it for $5, but you just have to mentally know the consequences and give up other stuff to be able to do it.
And then from our actor's viewpoint, because Ryan had talked about I think like the scene where he's reaching into.
Well, for example, that part was like so. Because originally the mother wasn't going to die, and then so KST or Kristen Scott Thomas came to Bangkok thinking that she was going to be there for 3 weeks and then out, and she arrived and said, what, I think you should die. Really? Yeah, you should die. Okay, she's going to die. All right, so Kristen Scott is going to die, and then I said to Ryan, so Ryan, so your mom's dead. What do you want to do? Cry? Laugh? What do you want to do? So Ryan goes, I don't know. Slice her stomach open, pull out her womb? Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, let's do that. I can make that work.